Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So as promised, I'm going to do my stash haul from the Midwest Scale Madness show last week, September 13th. And there's the stash. So I will go through that now. Okay, before I get started, I just want to thank Tim Kasper and all the members of the Midwest Scale Madness modeling group for hosting an awesome show and contest, and they had great vendors and an incredible raffle, as you're about to see. So again, thank you. That said, as you may know, I've been on a bike bender, buying a lot of motorcycles. So right here are all the motorcycles the vendors had, except for the fully cowled Honda 750 that I've already built, and I already have the Honda Road Racer in the stash. They had those two kits, and then this. So I bought it. So I'll start with the Honda Trail 70, the MPC kit in 1 to 8, and got a good deal on that. By the way, I don't think I paid any of the marked prices, and that's kind of the fun of going to a contest and show with the vendors. It's haggling is almost expected. It is expected, and oftentimes you don't have to say anything. They'll say, "I'll do whatever on a model." So if you are on a budget, by the way, it makes a lot of sense to just go to a contest. Even if you're not going to enter, just go. A, you're going to see a bunch of awesome models. B, you're going to get great deals on kits. And C, I'll just say it right now. So this is the raffle haul, and every contest I go to, I buy $20 worth of tickets, and I always come out way ahead. Even if one of these kits was 20 bucks, I came out 6 times ahead. So you can never go wrong going in on a raffle, or going with those vendors that are typically at the show. So again, if you're on a budget and you're looking for budget, models, go online, go to IPMS, find your nearest show, and go and stock up. Okay, so back to the haul. So started with the Honda Trail 70, the MPC kit. Everything, still in the cellophane, awesome. And then they had these two 1 to 24 Heller kits, and it looks like the accessorization complete, nothing else to buy. It looks like they come with glue and paint as well. It sounds like from what's rolling around in there. So Honda RC 211V and the Honda NSR 500 in 1 to 24, I believe, with riders. So that is pretty cool. And yep, I thought so. So I built that 1 to 24 Yamaha 500 with Abe as the rider, and that's the kit right there. And it was my understanding that Airfix and Heller, one bought the other or vice versa. And so I've built that kit. And then I showed you in my haul from London, I've got a kit of 3 of these. That's an Airfix kit, and I believe one or both of these might even be, no, because that's a Honda, a Ducati, and a Yamaha. So one of these may be a duplicate with that. Anyway, super cool. Again, I think I paid $30 for the pair of them. So I may do a separate video, at some time, motorcycle related video, and do an unboxing of those. But again, very cool. And then the vendor who was literally at the table right next to my display had this kit. It was the first thing I saw when I came in as he was setting up, when I came in Saturday morning, and I immediately said, "How much?" And then I said, "Actually, you go ahead and get set up, and maybe we'll do a deal. So this is the Zundap Krieg's Elephant 1:9 authentic scale model, the KS 750 with sidecar. Now when I first saw this, I thought it was a BMW, but it's actually a Zundap. And I'll just read a little bit here. Mass produced in more than 18,000 from 1941 to 1942, the Zundap KS 750 can doubtless be considered one of the most up-to-date and modern creations of that period in the field of motorcycling. Thanks to its essential line and structure and their exceptional specifications and performance, made it possible to use widely on all fronts during the war. And then the same vendor had these two, I think a stack of them, I want to say 5 or 6 of these train kits. The Harrow double scale, 00 scale, and so he had them for, I believe, $5. And I said, okay, I'll take 2 because I want to make sure I get a complete kit, because I'm not going to open it, but it's loose parts in there. And he said, oh, in that case, just give me 5 for both of them. And so, I'll go through these and see if all the parts are in there. And if, they both have all the parts, maybe I'll invite somebody to do a buddy build on these. I actually have someone in mind. And then motorcycles, again, I don't remember if it was this vendor or a different one. But I think it was this one, because I said, I thought that's all your motorcycle stuff. And he said, oh, I don't remember, seeing that or whatever. But this is actually the Honda CB750 engine, just the engine. And you may have seen one in the show video of just a standalone engine. And so when I saw this, it really caught my eye. And I think this is pretty cool. And so everything's here. And you can see the stand there. All the parts, some metal parts, screws, wires. But that is totally cool. Another kit to go in the motorcycle stash. And then again, that same vendor had the 88, the German 88, and having seen Charlie Mack build this, and Joe at Mad Genius build this, and then actually seeing one at the Imperial War Museum, obviously, again, I got an incredible price, so couldn't pass up on that. Again, the same vendor had a whole bucket of sprues. He's like, all the sprues are $1 a piece. These are 1 to 20. I believe these are race car drivers, Tamiya, and I thought, for $1 a piece, that's so cool. I grabbed them. And then I was also looking at some cars, and I came across this, and it is the Indianapolis 500 Hall of Fame set. And so it's 3 kits from 3 different eras: the 1963 Watson Roadster, 1963 Lotus Ford, and the 1974 McLaren. Now, I already have the MPC model of this, but that's okay. Don't have one of these and don't have one of these. And the fact that they were all winners and it was cool, I couldn't pass up on it. So again, I had it at 35. I was kind of haggling, and the gentleman said, wait, let me show you these. So he said, now, similar to this car, these are Indy racers. This is a monogram kit. Everything's there. He had that for 15, and then this Lego Tabot. Again, one of these, that era racing kit, had that for 15, and then he had this resin engine, Offenhausen 4-cylinder engine for sprint or Indy cars of the 60s and 50s. And he's like, so we kind of went back and forth and ended up doing the deal. I want to say for everything was 45. So that's what, 5 kits for $45. again, if you're on a budget, go to a show and go to the vendors, and you'll get some great deals. And then from the accessories vendors, this STS scale model decals was there. So on my first trip up to their counter and looking through their stuff, I came across these. And I have a sheet that I bought online of dials, but these are much nicer and more detailed. So $3 for a set of those. And then they had a bin of, I guess they're rejects or what have you. I don't see a whole lot wrong with these other than these are in all blue, but I thought, maybe I might need it somewhere along the line, $1 a piece. So $5 for that. And then $5 for these. Now I have down here that Tyrone Malone's custom drag truck and the Kenilworth Hayden Out, the truck that carries it. Those are my first two big rigs. I haven't built one yet. So I saw these, and you see those on the highway, and I thought they were kind of cool. Who knows if I'll use them on there, but I thought, what the heck, $5. And then I love it when vendors give you free stuff. So got a free brush, some stickers, and then they throw some decals of their logo in there as well. And then my second trip to them, after seeing one of the vendors' models out there, which was a van with a mural on the side, which I just thought was gorgeous. I went back and I was looking at these. So, for instance, you could put this between down the side of like a 70s Jimmy or Blazer, between the trim there, or down the side of a minivan or what have you. And I just thought those were cool. $7 for those. And again, you get all the free stuff. Then this Dave's Magic Paint Stripper. So in the past, I've used that, what's it called? Grease Police and some other stuff. And sometimes it works on chrome and sometimes it doesn't. It depends upon the model maker and how they did their chrome. I watched a couple of their demonstrations, and this takes it down to the bare plastic in a matter of minutes, and you can reuse it. And so I ended up buying a quart because I have a couple of kits that I've bought at previous shows where they were partially built or whatever. In particular, I have a 1948 Continental, and there's actually two bodies in there, and they both are partially built and partially painted. So I immediately thought of those when I saw this. So I'm going to give this a try on those, and various and sundry other stuff, as well as I do a lot of stripping of the chrome. So I grabbed that. Okay. And then the last thing I purchased was this brush. Now, you may have seen Mad City Models did the military judging. And I was speaking to that judge, and he, took me over to ship, and he said, okay, take a look. He's like, you got some dust here and, some things. And he gave me a lot of great tips. And he said, if you're going to take it, because we were talking about maybe going to nationals, and I'll talk about that in a second. He said, if you're going to do anything like that, you got to have it clean. And, I have this, this gets caught on parts, and I'm afraid to get it caught. And then this was really stiff. So I couldn't get in there. He's like, get yourself a really soft brush. So over one of the vendors had this MSM branded stuff. And one of the things is this brush. If you could see that on camera, just from the static alone, it's flying away because it's like hair. And that's super soft. And that was $2. So I grabbed that. That does it for all the vendor stash. This is all raffle stash, raffle haul. And they had an excellent raffle there. So what I try to do in raffles is get stuff I normally wouldn't get, or things that strike my fancy. So I saw this Silly Surfer. I have this crazy character, Davey, on a motorcycle, actually ordered and on its way here. And I saw this and I'm like, yeah, what the heck? Maybe I'll do a series of those. So got that with one of my winning tickets. and I don't remember which order I got these in. Another one, never done a Viking ship before, and I thought that would be, something different and cool to do. Saw this and had to grab it. This is, I believe, the only cat plane I haven't built yet, that I don't have and haven't built yet. So definitely could not, and it's 1:72, which is my scale, so definitely could not pass up on that. And then I believe this came taped to this. I'm not 100% sure what this is. It's a pre-painted 1:25 scale figure, but that was taped to this. And then I saw this Buick Wildcat 1966. I'm building some other 66 things, and I just think those are really cool cars. And I like these 3-in-1 kits where you can kind of choose how you want to build it. So grab that. And then 48 Ford Police Coupe, 2-in-1. Again, I love the 2-in-1 kits. I will probably do this as the police car. That grabbed my fancy and I thought it was cool, so I grabbed that. And then last, the 63 Avanti, and again, for no other reason than that's my birth year, of the stuff that was up there to pick from. I thought that was cool, and that was kind of, the kicker, the straw that broke the camel's back. So that was my haul from the MSM 25 model show and contest. So if you get a chance next year to go up there, definitely do. It's in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, and you saw it's an excellent show. So while I'm speaking of shows, I'm also going to, as I may have mentioned before, I'm going to be going up to the Great Lakes Challenge in Michigan on October 4th, and that's in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And then on October 11th, I'm going to be going again for, I think, my third time to the Duneland Model Club and Swap Meet in Hobart, Indiana. So if you get an opportunity to go to either one of those, by all means do. And then just FYI, Butch O'Hare is at the DuPage Fairgrounds on November 15th, and that's also an excellent show. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend this year, but if you get a chance, go to that one as well. And then I know it's still an entire year away, but the Nationals next year are going to be in Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is also in driving distance for me. So I'm seriously considering going to that, either as a part of my club, which I just joined, or on my own, maybe show the Enterprise Project one last time before I donate it. So if you get a chance, try to go to that as well. So really quick, I thought it might be helpful to show you guys what I bring to a contest. This is my what if basket, so to speak. And also want to mention that the door prize, or gift when you came in, they gave you one of these, which is a little kit, which is really cool. As I talk about this, I think this is going to be the beginning of a permanent one of these, because this, as you can see, I've pulled stuff from all over here to bring that in. I've been wanting to actually just create a permanent one of these, like a go bag, if you will. And maybe that'll give me a head start on that. So anyway, basically what I do is I look at the models that I'm bringing and like brainstorm, okay, what's the worst possible thing that could possibly happen, and how can I recover from it, and what do I need to bring to do that. So it's pretty much your basic modeling kit. Starting on this side, so various glues, super glue, ultra thin canopy glue, and then in case a decal pops up or what have you, the red and blue microset setting solution, obviously brushes for that, and then just a set of sanding sticks from coarse through buffing, and then some markers, a black Sharpie, a silver Sharpie, and then a fine black Sharpie. and then applicators for, this stuff. And then tweezers, 2 X-Acto knives, a compass in case I have to get a distance, and then speaking of that, a ruler with inches and millimeters, as well as a straight edge, and then various Q-tips or, these tabs, tape, and then, for instance, the planes had easy line antennas, and the ship had the white rigging, so I brought that just in case. So yeah, typically I'll just throw this together and bring it with, and at least once or twice, others have been like, hey, does anybody have a, whatever it is? I'm like, yeah, I have it. So, if not for yourself, help out other modelers who, whatever, hit a major bump on the way there and stuff fell off or what have you. So anyway, just thought it might be helpful to show you that. So again, I want to thank Tim and everyone at the Midwest Scale Madness Modeling Club for an awesome show. So I hope you found that interesting. And as always, thanks for watching and happy modeling.